This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 7th day of March in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. President Irfan Ali has announced that he plans to meet with marijuana farmers from across the country as his government looks to capitalize on the hemp industry. The cultivation and the trafficking of marijuana are still illegal in Guyana and remain criminal offenses. It is unclear how the farmers will be identified for the meeting with the president. During a press conference at State House on Sunday, the president said the move to engage marijuana farmers is to encourage them to move away from cultivating the illegal drug and to turn to hemp cultivation, which can bring benefits, he said, to the country. Hemp is considered a botanical class of marijuana that is grown specifically for industrial or medicinal use.
I intend to have a meeting very soon with all the marijuana growers in this country. I intend to have a meeting and to let them understand that there is a viable future in the hemp industry and bring them into that discussion and move away from the marijuana that has social consequences and come into mainstream economic activity that does not have that impact, that will give them more returns.
President Ali said he is firm that the hemp industry is a lucrative one and Guyana's economy can benefit significantly once the industry becomes part of the country's economy.
And there is a great opportunity that lies ahead in terms of the hemp industry and what it can do in terms of the technological push, construction material, pharmaceuticals. I have looked at some numbers, unbelievable numbers, on the return per acre. And I have a duty, the government has a duty to analyze all of this.
The president also said that marijuana farmers already have the experience, explaining that not much work will have to be done to build capacity. Earlier this year, the Vice President Barra Jagdeo committed the government to facilitating the planting and production of hemp in Guyana in an orderly way. There is currently no legislation in Guyana for the production of industrial hemp, and the president did not explain how this key issue will be addressed. The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit has been leading a national drug eradication exercise that has unearthed hundreds of acres of marijuana farms, especially in the Berbice area. More news coming up in just a moment.
How fast is fiber? Think fast. GTT Fiber has 3 packages with download speeds of 50, 100, and 150 megabits per second. That's fast enough to stream movies and music, to chat with Gran and Fran, to study, and more. What would you do? Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
In just 2 years, oil production earned Guyana a whopping $608 million. These funds are being used to build bridges, roads, and other infrastructure to improve the lives of all Guyanese.
Live your fantasy at Fantasy Gaming Lounge. Win big daily. Millions in cash prizes every week. Now located at Giftland Mall, Fantasy Gaming Lounge, the best bet in town.
Social media is a great way to stay connected, and let's face it, who doesn't like likes? Whether you're showing off that great outfit or celebrating a work promotion, your first priority should be staying safe online. So shop only on secure websites, those with URLs that begin with HTTPS. Never overshare, including your location with strangers online. Configure your Facebook privacy settings to only share your photos and other personal information with family and close friends. You can be social, but it's important to be safe online.
Mobil I is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil I adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
Combo pack pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you feeling. Ole cheesy, too much ripples and more combo pack of flavors galore, yeah. Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best.
Sunshine Snacks Combo Pack, now with a new look and new mix. Grab your pack today.
Best mix, so we feeling best.
Give me one dembe for my whole family. Their bread is tasty. Them bake bakery.
Baked with love and passion by our dedicated team of fine bakers, we give you dembe. With the same great quality you're used to, we now have a slightly new look. Here in Land of Canaan, we are ready to give you even more. Don't wait until you're hungry. Reach for a slice of dembe. Dambake, healthy, wholesome living.
People may forget the present you bought for them, but they'll never forget your scent. Find your signature fragrance at Elite Fragrances and Trade-In, located at 123 Regent Road Border between Ornock Street and Shiv Chandapal Drive. Call 619-5151 or 227-1255. Get a designer fragrance for yourself or loved one that they will never forget.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL?
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
Exactly 6 weeks after stepping aside as leader of the opposition, outgoing APNU General Secretary Joe Harmon has decided to leave the National Assembly altogether. Mr. Harmon submitted a letter of resignation as a member of Parliament for the APNU-AFC coalition. News source has confirmed that he indicated his decision in writing on Friday to the Speaker of the National Assembly, as well as his party's leadership and the leader of the coalition's candidates list. Mr. Harmon's resignation is expected to take effect from the 15th of March. Harmon's resignation from the National Assembly came as a surprise to senior members of the opposition coalition, but he has reportedly told supporters within the party that his decision is a personal one and one that is in the best interest of the coalition. Harmon was elected leader of the opposition in 2020 after the APNU-AFC coalition found itself in the opposition benches in the National Assembly after the 2020 elections, which saw the People's Progressive Party being returned to office. Mr. Harmon's stint as opposition leader lasted for 17 months. He was forced to resign as opposition leader following a humiliating defeat in his quest to become the leader of the PNC Reform, which is the largest party in the coalition. At first, Harmon wanted to hold on to the position of opposition leader, but he walked away from the position as the PNC's executive made it clear that a new leader of the party, Aubrey Norton, should be the one taking over the position after he becomes a member of Parliament. Political pundits saw Harmon's defeat in the race for PNC leader as a referendum of his leadership of the coalition and in the National Assembly and the loss of confidence in him among the party's membership. During the coalition's time in office between 2015 and 2020, Mr. Harmon served in the powerful position of Minister of State, with several portfolios in the office of the President. He was later appointed Director General of the Ministry of the Presidency, after he was forced to resign as a Member of Parliament because of the dual citizenship status at the time, following the no-confidence vote against the coalition government. In the lead-up to the 2020 elections, Harmon surrendered his U.S. citizenship to be eligible to run as a candidate in the elections. His resignation from the National Assembly is the second high-profile resignation for the APNU-AFC coalition from the Assembly in the past month. In February, MP Nicolette Henry indicated that she will be leaving the National Assembly from the end of March. With the 2 seats becoming vacant, the way is now clear for the PNC leader Aubrey Norton and one other candidate for the party to enter the National Assembly. There are reports that former Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defence Force, retired Rear Admiral Gary Best, could be the other PNC executive member heading to the National Assembly. At the party's recent elections, Mr. Best gained the highest number of votes in the election for Central Executive Member. The International Court of Justice will this week receive statements from Guyana's legal team in the ongoing border case against Venezuela. Guyana will be submitting its memorial on Wednesday in accordance with the schedule set by the International Court of Justice to hear the case on the merits of Guyana's application concerning the validity of the arbitral award of 1899 and the related question of the definitive settlement of the land boundary between the 2 countries. In March 2018, Guyana filed its application with the ICJ to confirm the validity and binding effect of the arbitral award of 1899. At a recently concluded CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in Belize, CARICOM leaders were briefed on the issue and again threw their full support behind Guyana, which is seeking a judicial settlement. The CARICOM statement said that heads of government reiterated their full support for the ongoing judicial process that is intended to bring a peaceful and definitive end to the long-standing controversy between the 2 countries and urged Venezuela to participate in the process. The CARICOM heads of government reaffirmed their firm and unwavering support for the maintenance and preservation of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Guyana. While Venezuela was part of the case management process, its Vice President, Delcy Rodriguez, has told the International Court that her country's participation was as a courtesy, not as a party in the procedure. Venezuela's long-held position is that the court does not have jurisdiction to hear the case. But even if Venezuela does not make a submission, the court is expected to still make a ruling since it was already established that it has jurisdiction to hear the matter. Well, although the sugar industry in Guyana has been under decline for years while suffering big financial losses, President Irfan Ali is still hopeful that the industry could be turned around and made profitable again. The government recently reached an agreement with Guatemala, which will see some help being offered to the local industry in several areas, according to the president.
And that is why Guatemala will also be coming in to help us. We're not going to reinvent the wheel, so sugar is viable. I said this a long time ago, from a financial and economic and social perspective, sugar is viable.
The government has also asked India for help as it tries to resuscitate the industry. And the president said despite the criticism and pushback that his government has been receiving, plans for the industry will be moving full steam ahead.
And believe you me, no stumbling block will deny the people of this country the delivery of what we promised and committed to. None whatsoever.
The Guyana government allocated $6 billion in this year's budget to support the Guyana Sugar Corporation Guyana with its field and factory operations in hopes of turning around the industry. For over a decade, Guyana has been operating at a loss, but billions of dollars continue to be pumped into the industry to bail it out of its financial woes. During the election, the PP Civic campaigned on a promise to reopen closed sugar estates. There has been a greater focus, however, on diversification. Decades after Guyana was first troubled with several infectious diseases, the Ministry of Health is getting set to make its final push to completely eliminate 5 infectious diseases by 2030. With help from the World Health Organization and the Pan American Health Organization, along with a number of health agencies in the country, a 5-year plan is being conceptualized to tackle 5 neglected infectious diseases. The announcement of the plan was made today during a planning workshop that examined how best Guyana could completely rid itself of leprosy, filaria, Chagas disease, soil-transmitted helminths, and leishmaniasis. According to the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, the infectious diseases have been putting a strain on the healthcare system, and other challenges could arise if urgent efforts are not employed to tackle the diseases.
Once we are able to accomplish this is 5 less things we have to be bothered with. Because, as you all know, the transition that is occurring, we are moving away from infectious, getting into more of the non-communicable diseases. And while we are now developing a lot of programs in the non-communicable diseases, our resources, we need to put more resources in some of them because we are seeing the burden of disease is really in many of the non-communicable diseases. But we do not want to leave this without eliminating them.
Minister Anthony also pointed out that while some may believe the 5 infectious diseases being targeted are not bothersome, the Health Ministry believes in taking a different approach.
The fact is, while they're so ancient and so many centuries ago we have been grappling with them, why is it that we still have to fight with them today? Amidst all the advances in science and technology that we have, because we know the medication, we know how these diseases, what are causing them, we know the life cycle of these parasites and everything else.
The minister also insisted that even though there are only pockets of small groups carrying the diseases, there must be a long-term focus to prevent death. Representative of PAHO WHO in Guyana explained that the international community is ready to assist in the efforts to rid the country of the 5 diseases.
We know the difference between all these 5 diseases in terms of geographical, epidemiological, but also it's a human right. I think it's a human right. It's to get against the discrimination and the stigmatization of certain neglected disease that we are suffering in all the region.
The 5-year plan is as a result of the World Health Organization identifying 20 infectious diseases that have been neglected. There are now renewed efforts globally to tackle those neglected diseases. 2 women were taken into custody of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit over the weekend after one of them was busted at the Eugene F. Correa Airport at Ogle with over 11 pounds of cocaine stashed in table mats and handbags. Sophia resident 22-year-old Akata Garnett was preparing to board a flight to Barbados when Kano agents carried out a search of her suitcases and found the mats laced with cocaine. Kano said the cocaine carried a total weight of 11.4 pounds and a street value of more than $5.6 million. Following Garnett's arrest, she was taken to Kano headquarters, where she reportedly cooperated with the agents and led them to her alleged accomplice, 32-year-old Malika Scott of Grove on the east bank of the Marara. Kano agents went to the home of Scott and arrested her also. The 2 are being held in custody until their court appearance. The Guyana Revenue Authority has installed a new baggage scanner at the Molson Creek Guyana-Suriname border crossing. The GRA said the new scanner boasts sophisticated features that enable scanning of passengers' baggage within seconds, and color-coded images of the results are displayed and reviewed by specially trained customs officers. High-risk consignments, including illicit, restricted, or dutiable items, are flagged and sent for a secondary examination, the agency explained. According to the GRA, passengers arriving at the port are requested to comply with the laws regarding true and correct particulars on their customs declaration forms. The introduction of the baggage scanning technology is in keeping with the modernization efforts of customs and will revolutionize the customs operations for better effectiveness and efficiency, the GRA noted. New scanners will also be installed soon at the 2 international airports in the country. The Guyana Police Force has issued a wanted bulletin for this man, 33-year-old Ron Lee Rampersad, for questioning in relation to a series of armed robberies committed here in Georgetown. His last known address was given as Sideline Dam, La Penitence, and the robbery incidents took place between May and December of last year. Anyone with information about the whereabouts of this man, Ron Lee Rampersad, is asked to contact the nearest police station or call 226-7065, 227-1270, or 911.
Harmon Mendez is committed to promoting development through quality, service, and integrity. Customers are guaranteed genuine products, reliability, and excellence in service. Their corporate head office at Providence affords you the added convenience of a spacious showroom with secured parking. Harmon Mendez continues to offer their valued customers a wide range of genuine and affordable German-engineered equipment. They're leading the way in clean, green alternative energy solutions with industry-leading brands of solar equipment. So visit their showroom at Providence and enjoy efficient and courteous service. Harmon Mendez, offering you solutions you can depend on.
You taste the cheese, you hear the crunch. Grab a zoomers and zoom into fun. And with the first taste, you feel like you don't want it done. Blast off to a whole new place with every single bite. The cheesy goodness bring your taste buds alive. So let's just zoom into fun with this wheel-shaped delight. Zoomers, zoomers, zoom into fun.
This is Mocha.
In addition to 2% royalty, did you know that Guyana earns 50% of the profits from oil production? More than any one of the Stabroek Block co-venturers, ExxonMobil, Hess and Sinnock. And by 2026, the government is expected to export 50 million barrels of oil per year, which can earn as much as $4 billion.
Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
Live your fantasy at Fantasy Gaming Lounge. Win big daily. Millions in cash prizes every week. Now located at Giftland Mall, Fantasy Gaming Lounge, the best bet in town.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100. Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, U.S. and Venezuelan officials discussed the possibility of easing all sanctions on Venezuela, but made scant progress toward a deal in their first high-level bilateral talks in years. Both sides used Saturday's meeting in Caracas to present what one of the sources described as maximalist demands, reflecting long-time tensions between the Western Hemisphere's main power and one of its biggest ideological foes. A U.S. delegation led by Juan Gonzalez, the top White House Latin American advisor, and Ambassador James Story held talks at the Miraflores Palace with Socialist President Nicolas Maduro and his Vice President Delcy Rodriguez. U.S. officials saw the meeting as a chance to gauge whether Venezuela, one of Russia's closest Latin American allies, is prepared to distance itself from President Vladimir Putin over his invasion of the Ukraine. A source in Washington said. Washington also wants to identify alternative oil supplies to fill the gap if it seeks a boycott of Moscow's energy industry. Venezuela could boost crude exports if Washington eases its sanctions. About 900 Russians took chartered flights home from a Cuban resort town on Sunday as airspace bans imposed after Moscow's invasion of Ukraine complicated travel for tourists around the world. Dozens of countries, including the European Union nations and the US, have banned the Russian planes from their airspace as part of sanctions aimed at crippling the Russian economy. Russia has since retaliated by barring its airspace to multiple countries, including 35 European nations. An airport official in Cuba told the press that 927 Russian passengers flew to Moscow on Sunday, among them a group from the Dominican Republic. Another 940 tourists will depart later today, the official said. And finally tonight, international news. Petrol prices have hit another record high as oil and gas costs soar amid fears of a global economic shock from Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Oil jumped to $139 a barrel at one point, the highest level for almost 14 years, while wholesale gas prices for a next-day delivery more than doubled. It came as the U.S. hinted at a ban on buying Russian energy, as it looked to other countries to increase supplies. However, European leaders rejected that idea on Monday. The German Chancellor said Europe had deliberately exempted Russia's energy from sanctions because its supply cannot be secured any other way at the moment. And the Netherlands Prime Minister said the painful reality is that they are still very much dependent on Russian gas and Russian oil. And if they will now force European countries to quit doing business with Russia, that would have enormous ramifications around Europe, including the Ukraine, but also around the world. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.